So it's the middle of July for us. You're probably seeing this much past that. But guess what happens in July? Very exciting, amazing, fascinating sport, which is the Tour de France. Like an adrenalized chess game, okay? It's fabulous. Cycling, a great sport. We thought it might be interesting to talk about things that cyclists eat. Now, the Tour de France guys have to eat between 6,000 and 10,000 calories a day. And when I went to bike camp, the very famous rider, Davis Phinney, who won a stage in the Tour de France, he used to say it was like throwing a Kleenex in a furnace, the food that they ate. It's like you're just throwing Kleenexes into a furnace. If only we had a real cyclist to talk about. What's that? I think it might be a real cyclist. Oh, wait, he's in the break. Wait, come back this way. All right, he's in the break. All right. Paul Carbonara, genuine cyclist. Riding for the Axis team. It's my theater company. He has it on his helmet. He's a Cat 2, which means he's almost a pro. And he's representing the Axis Theater Company on the course. A real cyclist. So, Paul, you've won a lot of races, right?
Well, yeah, I have.
You've been racing how many years? I've known Paul almost 30 years.
I've been racing for 34 years.
When I first met Paul, I went to see him race in Central Park at 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to walk in the park in the dark, which you're trained as a New Yorker, you never do that. I had to walk in out of the taxi, pitch black dark. I'm like, I'm gonna go see Paul, it's gonna be awesome. Oh my God, yeah. The minute the bikes went by, it was over for me.
Yeah.
The bikes went by and I said, how do you do that?
It's a great sound.
I want to do that. And throwing things and everything. It's amazing. Anyway, one of the things that has become sort of more commonly known now that cyclists eat are rice cakes, which is a very confusing name because when we think of rice cakes, non-cyclists, you think of those crunchy round things. These are actually a soft-dish, portable snack with a high glycemic value.
That's right.
Which makes it a good snack for a long ride. Now, some of the stages in the tour are 150 miles.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it's long,
yeah.
And you know they've got to eat, right?
Yeah,
Carbo?
it's more like a rice pudding, really.
Yeah,
like a kind of a stiff rice pudding.
So this is rice I made in the rice cooker. Just take 3/4 of a cup of arborio rice and put 3/4 of water and a little bit more, and it will be absolutely perfect. All right. Then you're going to take some cream cheese, and I'm going to squeeze off about that much. And now, Paul, you can sort of beat that in.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, like this. Smush it in. Unfortunately,
Trying to save energy for the race tomorrow.
Sorry. Paul's representing, what's the race?
Burning calories. The Capital Regions Road Race.
Uh-huh.
It's it's state championships.
Oh, state champion?
Yep.
Did you know any other state champions? Or
No, I don't know
you
any
don't know any
champions.
other state champions?
No. Do you? This one won a state championship. What was it?
Women's Cat 4. It doesn't
That's
really matter.
It was fantastic.
It was the first really big thing I won. The biggest race I ever won was Chris Thader. Chris Thader was the biggest.
That's a big race.
Big race.
Yeah. Binghamton.
Binghamton, Chris Thader.
Yeah.
That was a race where, and I think you can relate to this, when you win sometimes, it's like it can't be right. Like you're like, the road shows you where to go, and it's easy, you just go, and when you cross the line, you're like, oh, it must be.
I always feel that. When I win, I just feel it was a mistake.
I know, and I feel, at Chris Thader, I felt like, it's the wrong lap. Like I sprinted on the wrong lap. That's why I won. You know what I mean?
But the race you won is a big regional race,
yes.
So it was actually really impressive.
See that consistency? It's absolutely perfect.
I'll tell you a story about Randall Sharp and her bike racing. One day when she was just getting into riding, we went for a ride, and she was riding on my wheel, and she was doing pretty good, talking a little. But I said, at the end of the ride, I said, let me show this girl what a real fast ride is like. So I took off, we usually sprint for town line signs, and we were up in Woodstock. I sprinted for the Welcome to Woodstock sign, and I expected to turn back and see this little dot that was Randy in the distance, but she was sitting on my wheel with this goofy smile on her face, and I said, wait a minute. You're fast, really fast. Because
Thanks, honey.
I do okay and I win sprints.
Yeah. And then
You're just a girl.
Oh, exactly. But we had a friend who was a silver medalist in the Paralympics. He wasn't disabled, but he was the anchor on a tandem. His name is Kurt Whiteman.
Kurt Whiteman
He's
was
a serious rider.
Masters world champion.
Masters world champion on his own, and he was also a silver medalist in the Paralympics. Amazing guy. He was kind of riding with me one day, and we're riding along the road, and a cheetah, this big, I swear to God, it was like a lion, came out of the, and Kirk is a sprinter. Okay,
A great sprint.
great sprinter. So he's a big muscular dude, right? And this Akita comes up, boom, 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 ah! And I said, also, like this. And a few minutes later, we dusted the Akita. Kurt comes up to me and he goes, "Okay, so we're going to work on sprinting." Because he goes, that was a real sprint.
No,
it was fun.
Real
But
good
Paul
sprint.
is a great climber and a great time trialist. Okay, that's ready to be spread. But let's use our magic of television one. Okay, here's the magic of television one. Look at that, Paul.
Beautiful.
Come on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make two. This is a small. We're just going to do a demo.
Okay.
I'm going to cut it down the middle. We're going to spread the contents, and then I'm going to fold it and make two rice cakes, okay?
Beautiful.
All right? Now, I thought, how about some homemade apricot jam?
Beautiful.
Okay. And then I thought possibly some black beans.
Savory, yeah?
Yep, one savory and one.
Yeah, that's a good idea because
Okay.
cyclists eat a lot of sweet stuff, and it's nice to get a break with some savory stuff.
Here's one half. We're just going to put that here for a second. Okay, so I'd like to present you with your own jar of apricot jam, Paul.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Homemade?
You bet. I have grape jam. Would you prefer grape?
No, apricot. I prefer
Okay.
apricot.
And this is also Paul's favorite cheese. But you only get this cheese if you win.
Oh, man.
Podium.
Okay, podium or
yeah?
better.
Yeah. Here we go. So you're going to show me, like, how much would go on here, okay?
Okay, is this going to be one cake? This?
This is one cake. I'm going to fold it like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you show me,
So down half, yeah? One
or
half?
put it on both. And then
I'd say put it on one half so it doesn't go flying, right?
Okay.
Generous is the key.
Now you could put nuts here
That's good, yeah.
in the middle.
That looks great.
You can put nuts there. Could actually make 4 small ones.
What I would do is make 2 out of that once it's folded.
Okay.
That's about the right size for 2. Yeah. Perfect.
You sure ooze is okay?
Ooze is okay, because just shovel it right in.
Now, here comes the hard part.
Uh-oh.
Do you know how to do this?
I don't think so. You're going to wrap it, obviously.
So what I guess what a lot of people don't know is that cyclists eat while they're riding.
A lot.
A lot. They used to, when I was riding so many years ago, there used to be this thing called goo that everybody
They
ate.
still have it?
Which is basically icing. Am I right?
Sort of. It's got some salt and electrolytes and stuff in it. It's not quite icing, but it tastes like icing. So what you want to do is wrap it so it's easy to open with one hand or just your teeth. You pull it out of your pocket and down the gullet. That's looking good. Like this, then like this. Bam. Same thing on the other side. Great.
You're going to demonstrate eating it.
Oh, yeah.
Wait in a minute. Okay, let's wrap the other one. Now, if you watch like videos, which I did this week copiously, about people making these, they make huge trays of them.
Yeah. Also, if you ride a lot, if you have to buy all this stuff, it just gets really expensive. So it's nice to make the stuff at home, and it's tastier too.
Yeah, like the energy things are pricey,
Yeah.
you know.
Looks fantastic.
Look,
Goes right in your pocket.
see, he's gonna put it,
that.
show you, see?
See?
All right, I'm gonna take it out so it doesn't melt. And now let's make a savory one. 1/2 beans. Ready?
Do it. What did you season your beans with? Or is they just beans? Huh?
You just relax, Carbo.
Okay.
It doesn't
I don't
have
want to
any-
go for my feed and have some bland beans.
Taste the beans if you'd like.
Okay. Nice.
Do you want pepper on that?
No, it's good.
Okay. Oh,
If you eat a lot of beans, it could keep people off your wheel.
that's right. Another thing I developed in sprints was as you get close to the sprint, this is a good thing. You go like this. You're riding the breakaway or the pack is around you, and you go,
What, did you just act crazy?
no, like you can't see. And you know what they do? They pull back, and you win. I've done it. And then there was a great female, she's still riding, female rider called Carol Gale. And I was coming up on Lou Maltese, which was a big race.
Yeah, big
race
in Central Park.
Race in Central Park. And I was on Carol's wheel. I'm getting second place. It was so exciting. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get second in the Maltese. And as we came up, there were a bunch of lapped riders and people like all over the place. I'm on Carol's wheel, like we're like this. And Carol, like this. We come around the corner at the bottom of Cat's Paw. She goes, get out of the way! And all the other riders that could have beaten her, they got out of the way. And from that day on, I said it in every race. You're going to beat me. Why would you get out of the way? Because she's a girl, that's why. Because we're not trained to compete properly. You have to train yourself to compete.
It doesn't work so well in my race.
In men's races, they'd be like, screw.
Yeah.
I never forget Carol saying that. And I was like, interesting. All right, which one are you going to try after we do this, honey?
I'll try the sweet one.
Okay. Power packed.
Too big.
I made a big mess.
Yeah, half of that.
Voila.
Take it like this.
No, that goes on top.
Yeah.
So the regular. It's not tight. But...
Pretty good. It's perfect. Look at that.
So beans are probably not the most convenient because they will drop out. But if you mash them, which I forgot to do, you could put a bean paste, which is high calorie.
And people use Nutella.
Nutella.
You could do turkey and cream cheese, which is a nice
and cream
one.
Cheese.
Yep, ham, pieces of ham, cheese, all that stuff's great.
We could have put a little bit of cream cheese there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to wrap this one, and then I'm going to show you how to spread it in the pan. So what they do is they write savory, sweet, SWSA, or, these are the savory ones, and these are the sweet ones. So this is how you set the rice cakes, okay? Use saran wrap. Put half of that in the bottom, nicely like that.
It's quite clingy.
Okay, now we're just going to take about half this. Now you also don't have to fill them at all. You can just give them to the racer just a rice cake. In which case they would be...
Disappointed.
Let's make a really thick one. Okay, so here we go. Now, Paul, I'm going to use a little chefy trick, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to press it like this, and then...
Uh-oh, what's that?
Oh!
Is that a rice cake specific?
No, it's a
utensil?
pastry roller. Perfect. So, I'm going to put this in the fridge to set, and then you're going to show us how a cyclist might eat a rice cake.
Wow, okay.
Okay? I learned today that it really does have to set for 24 hours. It's,
What if you're super hungry?
You can eat it, but it's not going to be a cake. It's going to be sort of mushy rice.
Yeah, but that's okay because they're sort of like a pudding. And if they kind of gush out of the paper a little bit, it's not a disaster.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's demonstrate eating a rice cake, right? Okay?
Okay.
So put your helmet on, honey. Okay, so first of all, we're going to illustrate the team car riding next to the rider. I'm the team car. Honey, woo! You're beautiful.
Hungry.
You're beautiful, Paul. Here.
Hungry.
Here.
Oh.
Here. You're beautiful, Paul. You're beautiful. No, he's riding. Shoo, 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 shoo.
Wow.
So now that you're off the bike, you can continue eating your...
Okay. The rice cake's got a little bit of salt in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice. And when you're going hard, it's nice to have a little bit of sweet stuff.
Yeah, but
too.
we don't, for instance, I wouldn't recommend using that jam because it's a little thin and it made a big mess. But there's the cyclist eating it.
Energy.
Yes. Like throwing a Kleenex in a furnace. Right?
Yeah.
So before a race, in the morning, what would you eat?
I always eat the same thing. I have a bowl of oatmeal with blueberries and walnuts.
Nice. Then you have your drinks, your high-calorie drinks, your rice cakes from me or from elsewhere. your
If the race is long enough, yeah. I
your
mean,
goo, your stuff.
Yeah.
And then okay, so say you podium at you got first.
ooh,
So you won the criterium.
yes.
You turned that corner, you took that sprint. Right, now you go back clickety-clack to your hotel. You get in the car, you get home. What do you have as your congratulatory meal?
Oh man, I mean, you could have something that's celebratory.
Yeah.
Like really with a lot of fat that maybe you've
Yes.
been denying yourself, a lot of carbs.
Yeah? Like?
Like a mac and cheese.
What about a lobster mac and cheese?
Wow, that would be, first place in a crit, lobster mac and cheese.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Carbo,
Yes,
I wish
dear.
you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, ride proud, ride strong, tear the
will.
legs off those bastards.
I'll try.
And just know you're representing the team and you're my favorite bike racer. Take off. Well, Paul requested mac and cheese. Let's make some lobster mac and cheese. Decadent. Sublime. Delicious. Now, we've made mac and cheese before. The bubbling sound you hear is the elbow macaroni. We're just going to blow through the mac and cheese part, and then I'm just going to show you the very simple way of putting lobster into your mac and cheese, which essentially involves dropping pieces of lobster into the mac and cheese. Okay? But it's awesome. So here we go. Mac and cheese. We're going to use Ina Garten's flawless recipe. I'm going to grate some cheese. I'm going to check. It works. Here we go. Ready? Oh boy. Nobody knows what we're making it for. We're making mac and cheese. Okay. The thing you want to avoid is, even though it's really good, is like fontina and stuff, but you can put it in, but it tends to clump when you melt it, and yet it's a little more hassle to pull the fontina throughout the mac and cheese. It does make a really excellent mac and cheese, though. But you still have to use Gruyere. I used about half a pound of cheddar and about 3/4 of a pound of Gruyere, darling. Ah, the pasta. It worked. And we're going to start to actually make le mac et fromage. Macaroni et fromage. Pasta et fromage. What do you think they call it? Mac and cheese. Pasta et fromage. Probably call it pasta Americaine or something. Mac and cheese. This is the classic, like I told you. We have a quart of milk. It's 4 cups of milk, which I'm heating but not boiling. I'm just going to melt this. So what I'm going to make in here is essentially a roux. You've seen me do this. I'm going to put half a cup of flour in with the melted butter. Then I'm going to pour in the warmed milk and whisk it until it thickens. It's a roux. Speaking of roux, the Roux brothers run a restaurant called Le Manoir de Quatre Saisons, the House of Four Seasons. And they have 3 Michelin stars, blah, blah, blah. But they also have this thing called the Roux Scholarship every year, where they pick students, basically, not famous chefs, from all over England, and they set them these super hard sort of challenge. You can watch it on YouTube. It's really great. It's dry, but it's pretty great.
Oh, even that parsley smells nice. Even you smell good, Anna. Oh, thank you.
And Michel Roux, and I think it's Alain Roux Jr. Please forgive me. They do the demonstration. These guys are like French cooks, okay? So you learn a ton watching it. It's a little dry, but may I recommend the Roux Scholarship Challenge videos, okay? They're awesome. Beautiful melted butter. It's not brown. We don't want brown butter. Half a cup of flour. Voici, voilà, comme ça. So I'm sprinkling the flour. Okay, I'm mixing this together. All right, that's perfect. Creamy color. You don't want it to be too dark. Okay, guys, here we go. This is warm. Oh, it's very warm. Ready? Everybody ready? This is the exciting part. Mix a little bit. Stir it around. Mix a little bit, just a little bit. Mac and cheese, mixing it, just a little bit. Oh yeah. Okay, now I got a nice white, thick roux going. I'm gonna pour in a lot more. I'm gonna keep stirring and stirring and stirring. So 90 Day has 2 franchises running simultaneously. That's a first. I'm pouring it all in. We have Before the 90 Days, some people's favorite franchise, and then we have 90 Days the Other Way. But anyways, my favorite 90 Day people ever, certainly one couple, is are Alex and Lauren. Lauren sent me a cameo for my birthday. Reggie got it for me. So you want this to get pretty hot, guys, because the flour kind of thickens when it's really hot. I'm gonna put a little pepper in this now. Just look at that, that's perfect. Okay, heat off, cheese in. Oh boy. Use a spoon now, not the whisk I learned in life. Okay, now your solid ball of mac and cheese. Break it up in there. Ooh, it's a good one. Now you want to be careful with salts with this because remember the cheese has a ton of salt. And honestly, I'd rather they put salt than not be able to eat it. So in this case, taste it. My suspicion is it doesn't need any salt. There might be a little salt in the lobster also when you add it. I'm gonna leave this in here. I'm not gonna decant it into the serving and baking tray until I add the lobster. So let's add the lobster. It's beautiful. Oh, actually we can just serve it and bake it right in that. I'm now going to just fussify the lobster a little bit. Okay, lobster. Parousi. These are lobster tails. Now this is supposed to be a luxurious race-winning meal. My suggestion would be, I boiled these lobsters for, they're about that big, about 11 minutes. So they're slightly underdone. I'd be inclined to put pieces that big in. So when you cut a lobster, you always want to look here. That's where the poo sac is, because a lot of lobsters had a last meal. I cleaned these last night. Then I'm just gonna very quickly saute these in a little bit of butter, because honestly, why not? The guy won a race. Let's take it to the stove. So we're gonna use this pan. It's a little bit crappy and it's a little bit deep, but we're literally just jazzing up the lobster. Un pooty poo. Okay, a little bit of butter. Listen, nobody's watching. The guy won a race, for crying out loud, okay? Little bit of lemon, but not too much. The seeds don't matter. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna put a little bit of pink pepper, I think, which would look nice in the mac and cheese. Okay, in they go. Our morsels of lobster. Okay, I'm thinking, what would make this like really amazing? How can we make this even better than it already is? What can we do to make our podium star, what can we do to make him feel really special? Well, the butter is not gonna hurt. I think a little pepper and peu de poivre. Little salt, but be aware of your cheese. Now, usually cheese and seafood don't go together, but in this case they do. Pfeffernuss. Oh boy, Carbo. We call Paul Carbo because his last name is Carbonara. Okay. That's it. I mean, look at this. I don't think we have to worry about luxury. So I'm gonna just quickly give this a stir to redistribute cheese. As you can see, it's settling rather a lot. Going to use slotted spoon again. If only I had one. There it is. okay? Because I don't want to put a lot of this liquid in. A little bit's okay, but not a lot. Now, you can put this in the fridge like this until your hero comes home, and then heat it. The only reason you're heating it is to brown the top, okay, guys? So, there you go. Maybe a teeny bit. Okay. Oh, man. I'm just wiping this because we're actually going to bake it in here. This is ready to go in the oven. Now, like I said, you can wait for this to come to room temperature. Look how beautiful that is, guys. Don't put anything in the fridge hot. Wait for it to come to room temperature, and then you can cover it with tinfoil or saran wrap and bake it 5 days from now, if you want. All right, beautiful, guys. This is ready for the oven. Our Tour de France mac and cheese. Voila, comme ça. Now, from the fridge, keep your eye on it until the top is browned. You're trying to warm it through and brown the top slightly. Don't burn that lobster. If it's warm, like ours, you're literally just browning the top. Who doesn't like a brown top? So for the Tour de France today, we made rice cakes. We learned a little bit, savory and sweet. Maybe the beans should have gone on some cream cheese. Rice cakes, high glycemic value. Then we made a congratulatory lobster mac and cheese, an indulgent, glorious, unctuous meal for the podium finishers. Tour de France. Oh, it's Maud. She's breaking away from the pack. Oh, come on, you gotta do it. Oh, she's coming over the hill. Oh, Maud. Oh, wait, I think you need some sustenance. You need a rice cake. It's the Tour de France. Maud! Thank you for watching our Tour de France episode with rice cakes and mac and cheese and a visit from a real cyclist and a former cyclist. And Maud making the breakaway, solo breakaway, to win the tour with the use of Randy's rice cakes. Thanks for watching, guys.